What's up, YouTube? Winterguard here. Today we're going to get into something I discussed a little earlier, but in a little more in-depth manner. I was toying around with the seal popping technique and kind of the little bit of the pros and cons of that, and I wanted to get into the numbers. I'm more of a numbers guy. When I hear, it's more optimal for getting runes, that sort of thing, I prefer to just kind of crunch the numbers and see how it goes. So that's what I did here. To preface this, I did 2 1-hour runs both ways, just doing full clears from the entrance forward in Chaos Sanctuary, and then using the seal popping technique. Now, granted, I'm not the best at that. I think I got it down to a pretty good time. I was averaging just over 5 minutes for full clear runs, and I was getting pretty good at doing about 2.5 to 3 minute runs using the seal pop technique. I'm not sure if that's good or not. You guys let me know in the comments what kind of runs you actually average on that. But I figure a person that's really good at seal popping probably could do it in about 2 minutes. 2.5, between 2.5 minutes is probably a pretty fast time. I was a little above that, but I think I still did pretty good. I mean, we ended up probably doing almost twice as many runs in an hour using that versus regular full clears. So I wanted to look at taking XP out of the picture. That's a minor thing for most people. So the loss in XP using the seal popping technique is not that big of a deal. So what I broke it down to was total number of unique and set items, total number of charms, and total number of runes. The biggest thing being the runes, because that was the main reasoning behind doing it, was the chance for more rune drops. So we're going to look at the numbers for that and see how that goes. Now, just to put this out there, this is not a thing to disprove one or the other. Everybody has their play styles and what they're more comfortable with. I just like to see numbers for the numbers for myself, just to see how it shakes out. I'm a numbers guy. I'm a software engineer by trade, so we just in general as a group like to see the numbers, and if it's a more optimal way of doing something, we definitely like to look at those types of things. So that's how I'm approaching it. So we'll get into the numbers afterwards. I'm going to show some of the highlights as far as loot that drops from either one of the types of runs, and then we will crunch the numbers a little bit. Nothing in depth. Again, this is all anecdotal. I did do 2 1-hour runs of each type, just to get kind of a baseline and see how they shook out. And what I'll do is I will show the best of the 2 for each, numbers wise, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. But if you enjoyed the video, give me a like and subscribe. Join our Discord, link is in the description. We're at 250 plus members now and growing still, so join us there, and let's get into the item drops first, and then we'll look at the numbers. Okay, we're in the first run of the seal popping technique, and this is actually a Diablo kill. As you see, we get a little double drop here. This is actually my first Ariats, so I was kind of glad to see this. I will be building a barb at some point, so it was good to see that drop, and I got another IK belt, so yeah, whatever. Okay, we're now actually in the full clear portion of the runs. Out of the seal popping runs, we only got the Ariats as far as something worth showing. But now we're into the full clears, and as you see, I picked up a small charm. I'll give it an ID here in a second. And we get a 7%er. Always good to see that. For those that don't know, 7% is max. And when you see me pause the video, the only reason I'm doing that is because I'm logging the item, and that doesn't count towards gameplay. So as far as that's what I'm doing. Okay, this is another full clear kill on Diablo, and we'll get a nice little double drop, well, triple drop, but two decent items. We'll get a G face and the Tau helm. Tau helm is decent for mercenaries. A lot of people run it until you get like an Ariats or something. So these are always decent to hang on to. G face, great paladin weapon or helmet. So good drops there. Okay, this is the run after the double drop, and didn't notice this. It's what I'm looking for is actually off screen. You see that a lem dropped off of one of the random mobs. So decent little drop right after the doubles from before. Okay, this is the last run I'll be able to get in on the full clears, and again it'll be another Diablo kill if he ever spawns. And as you'll see here, we get a facet. Always fun to see those drop. And the roll is absolutely garbo. We get the worst possible rolls on a fire facet, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, as you guys saw, the items were okay. Nothing special in the drops, but we did get some stuff that we were able to keep. So what we're going to do now, let's just look real quick. We got another G face, which is always a good item. The Ariats is nice. That's actually my first one, so a first time pickup on that, as well as another Tau, which we get dozens of those. So nothing there, and a Lemrune. So total out of 4 hours, the drops weren't that great. I mean, we did get some decent items, so I'm not going to complain there. We all have our dry spells, and if that's a dry spell, it's still a good one. So no complaints there. But we're going to look into numbers real quick and some of my thoughts on it. First, we'll look at the best out of full clears. The best I was able to do is about 11 runs, which comes out to about 5 minutes per 5.5 minutes per run. And that's killing every single monster from the entrance of chaos and everything in between. So that was I've done it a lot. 5 minutes is a good run. 5.5 is a little slower sometimes, but that's about right. As far as the number of uniques, and I'll put them up, we got 19 set or unique items. Got 8 charms total and 5 rune drops. That was the best of the 2 full clear runs. It feels about right. I've crunched these numbers before, and that's pretty close to what I see on average. And then let's look at the seal popping technique and how those numbers panned out. I did my best out of the 2. I did 20 runs, which comes out to about 3 minutes. Like I said, I think some guys could probably get down to between 2 and 2.5 minutes. I think this is where the spec probably comes into play. A full cold Sorc will be a little slower, as well as what I'm running, which is the hybrid spec. If you got a tricked out lightning sorceress, you can really probably blaze right through this. Also would be the same with other like Hammerden, Javazons, if they got Enigma. I mean, you pretty much have to have teleport to make this fast. So if you have a tricked out character with Enigma that's not cold based, cold is going to slow you down. It's just because of the immunes that are there. The seal bosses themselves, I had some issues with Lord Decease. He can be tricky if you're not doing a full clear, because if you try sniping him out, especially if you spawn him with cold and fire immune, and he's got movement speed, that's just a hard kill without having to clear a bunch of stuff around him. If you get him where he's just cold immune and you're running a hybrid spec where you could throw a flame wall on him, you can snipe him out pretty easy. But if he's running cold fire immune, that's a little tricky. So spec definitely comes into play. I think lightning will blaze through this. You'll only have an issue with the Wraith Seal Boss. I forget his name. I think he's usually lightning immune. The other two you could probably just destroy, absolutely destroy so quick. I did use the portal technique, and I tried to put the portal in a dense pack, usually to the bottom side of the seal, and when I teleport across, I go across the top side. So that, I think that usually grabs a good chunk of the mobs that are there. But as far as the numbers, we were able to get 20 runs in. Got 22 uniques and sets, which is higher. Pretty close to 20 charms, which is higher. And 14 rune drops, which is almost triple. So that kind of confirms a little bit. Again, these are anecdotal numbers, but it kind of confirms that this is a more optimal way if you're rune farming. But what's surprising is that the sets and uniques held same or even a little better than full clears, and that's mainly on Diablo. Most of the sets and uniques are going to come from him anyways. You're going to have the sporadic ones through the packs, but he's going to be the majority. So those two numbers are probably going to be pretty close to this. Well, no, let me back up. You're going to get more Diablo kills, so you're probably going to see more sets and uniques in general. So if you can do the seal popping technique efficiently, and if you have a good spec for it, I would imagine Hammerdens especially would probably just destroy this place as far as using that. And Lightning Sork definitely would have speedier times overall clearing the place. So this, but if you're hunting runes, this is definitely a optimal way to do it. It's almost triple the number from full clears. And even though, you know, I didn't get any high runes, I did get a Lem, which actually dropped in the full clear run. But as I've stated before, every time a rune drops, it does have a chance to be a high rune. It just RNG determines which one it's going to be. Magic Find plays no effect. It's just a roll of the dice to determine which rune it's going to be. So if you have more rune drops just in general, it's of course going to increase your chance of having a higher rune drop. So I would say if you could do this efficiently, and if you have the spec that could handle this without getting yourself killed too many times, definitely worth the go. But that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to add to this. Just in general, not you have to be on your game to do seal popping. You have to be on point because you could teleport into a group that'll get you killed. Full clears are more relaxing. If you're on a hunt, you're wanting to grind and get as much out of it as you can in the time frame that you're working with. Definitely go with it. It does increase your chances. Just overall, you'll get more of everything. You'll in an hour's time you'll get more Diablo kills, which means more chances of items. And as my numbers at least showed, the rune drops were way more, which again makes more sense. If you do it correctly, you'll in an hour's time you'll get more kills per minute, so that equates to more rune drops. So we'll leave it at that. Again, join my Discord. Links in the description. You guys have a great day. Keep on farming.